Well, I started kindergarten in 1960, pretty long time ago. But even at that time, in the early 60s, we had already done away with prayer and scripture reading or even a little inspirational song at the beginning of each school day. And this was in a small town in North Georgia, population 3,400 and change. I mean, it's like rural North Georgia. And already by that time, the Judeo-Christian tradition that our nation was founded upon had already been censored out. I guess it died away sometimes in the 1950s. So, and if memory serves, I don't even remember us doing the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, I know a lot of schools still do the Pledge of Allegiance, but I'm absolutely positive none of the public schools in this country have prayer or a Bible verse. Welcome to Tim's Challenge. Last time, we talked about 3 facts, and that if you don't understand these 3 facts, or if you don't recognize these 3 facts, that you really don't understand what's going on in this country. Hey, when I learned these things, the lights came on for me, and I understood things in a clearer light. So let me quickly review these for you as we start out today. And by the way, thank you so much for joining me. We had a lot of good views for the video last time. So let's keep the movement going. All right, fact number 1. What we have today in this country is not liberalism. We call Joe Biden a liberal. We call the Democrat Party liberal. They're the opposite of liberal. You can call them different things. I don't care. You can call them Marxist, pretty accurate. You can call them socialist. You can call them progressive. I like to call them just left-wing extremists. They're just extremists. These are the people who are saying wrong is right and right is wrong. These are the people they just passed an $800 billion spending package to see if we could change the climate of the planet. It's cuckoo. So fact number 2, not only are they wrong, but they're wrong on every issue. Fact number 3, and they're not only wrong on every issue, but they're as wrong as you can possibly be. Right now, they are into the trans movement. These are the people who are telling us that there's an infinite number of genders and that our 5-year-olds in kindergarten need to be coached by their kindergarten teachers about sexuality. I have a bird nest with me today. This happens to be a wren's nest. Now, I know it looks a little dilapidated right now, but that's because, well, if your home if you had raised 7 young ones in a space this small, your home would look dilapidated too. Now, little birds, they raise their young, and it doesn't take very long. I'm thinking it takes about 8 weeks. From the time they're twitter-pated and the papa and the mama mate and go through the whole process of the eggs and hatching the eggs, and they finally kick their fledglings out of the nest and into the wild blue yonder, takes about 8 weeks. That means the mama and papa wren take 44 weeks out of the year as a vacation. They could do whatever they want for 44 weeks out of the year. But for those 8 weeks where they're raising children, raising their babies, they don't do anything else. Every breath they take, every chirp they make, every worm, every flutter of their wings, every ounce of their energy is devoted to making sure their little ones are strong and mature enough to fly off into the wild blue yonder. Now, humans are the same way, only it doesn't take 8 weeks, it takes 18 years, and of course a lot longer if you have more children. But it's the same thing. Parents, you have nothing else to do When you have children under your roof, every breath you take, everything you do, your life choices, your decisions about working or not working, everything must be devoted to your children. You have no other job. If you have children under your roof, you have no other job except to rear those babies and give them the values and the strength and the maturity and the wisdom to be able to be launched into the adult world and be successful there. It's a tough job. You say, well, I need time to myself. I need vacation time. Even your vacation time is spent resting so you can get back to the battle. Now we have a problem. The Judeo-Christian values, which were censored out of our education 2.5 generations ago, by the way, some people say it's not the school's job anyway. It's the parents' job. Religion is the parents' job. Okay, yeah, but did you ever think that when Judeo-Christianity, those values are taken out of a place, don't you know that other values are sucked back in? Don't you know there's no such thing as a values vacuum? You're going to have values. It's just a matter of whose values. Now, it's taken a long time, but now the trans movement is in the schools. It took them a while. But they had to get the Christianity out so they could eventually get the trans movement in. This is the scariest thing I have heard of in my entire life. The trans movement is now in the schools, and you say, it's not in my child's school. I know my teachers. I know my kids' teachers. They're not that way. All right, parents, all it takes is one child coming in one morning and saying, I'm not Kathy anymore. I'm Jason. Call me Jason. At that moment, your entire school goes pro-trans. What's the teacher going to do? Say, oh no, I'm not going to call you that. The teacher's going to have to go by what the child says. The child is now dressing as a boy, even though she's a biological girl. She's got a boy's name, even though she's a biological girl. The school immediately has to cater to that. They have no choice. Your child will instantly, in that moment, be sucked into the trans movement because your child will be forced to call that child by his or her new gender according to those pronouns and the new name. Now, the homeschool movement is a gigantic movement in this country, and you can see why. Because the left has been sucked into our public schools. This is horribly scary. So now, are you going to institutionalize your child in a government institution from age 5 through 18? Is that what you're going to do, parents? You're going to put your child into an institution which is leftist in orientation? I wouldn't do that if I was doing it today. Homeschool movement is big in this country, and it's getting bigger, and you can see why. You know what the most important thing is here? Wisdom. Parents having wisdom to do what we have to do. You may have to quit your job. You may have to make less income. I don't really care. Your job is to rear those children. You have no other job. To rear them with wisdom and to understand right from wrong and to not be sucked in by the left. That's pretty much what we have to do.